Hey everybody. So today we're going to talk about how to call somebody out for being problematic, okay? As you know, there are people all over the internet who have really messed up things that they think and say. And every single time somebody says something that you disagree with or don't like, it's important to respond to it. And when you do respond to it, you want to take an already volatile situation and dump some more violent rage on it. So this tutorial is going to help you do that, because always returning negativity with more negativity definitely won't lead to more negativity in the world. So anyway, let's get started. Alright, so the number one thing is that you don't want to be breathing through this process when you go to respond. Hold your breath as much as possible, because breathing, like actual deep breaths, will calm you down, and you don't want to be in a calm state. It also helps new thoughts come into your head and helps you kind of get into a state where you're able to think things through and be rational. And that's not really good for this process, because rationality was invented by white men to pretty much bully everyone else, and fuck that. So you just don't want to be doing that. Don't breathe. And this is important because the second step is that you want to be listing off all the symptoms that you have to the aggressor in the situation, which isn't you. It's the person you're responding to. Be sure to tell them about how you're literally shaking, and not breathing properly will help that happen. Literally shaking, feel sick. What else have I seen people do? There's, what are other symptoms that can happen? Could literally be crying, shaking, unable to get out from in front of the computer and do anything. I've seen a lot of this happen where people will be making statements that they can't go take care of their kids or feed themselves and stuff. You want to list off anything like that that's happening to you, and not breathing is the number one step to getting there. So yeah, that's my first bit of advice for the anatomy of a call out. Alright guys, so the third step is that you want to be as condescending as humanly possible. You want to ignore the fact that these are potential allies or people who pretty much believe 90% of what you do. Throw that out of your mind, okay? That is not helpful to you in this situation. This is a call out, okay? You are not concerned with what you have in common. This is about making sure that you draw lines in the sand. So, the best way to do that, especially if you're dealing with somebody who actually knows what they're talking about, is to be as condescending as possible. So, if they did their dissertation in college on the subject, you want to be sure, oh, do you understand that this is a structural oppression? Stuff like that. You want to throw around words like that if they're left wing at all are going to really piss them off, because that sort of thing is really enraging to people who actually get it. So I mean, that works. I don't know what else to really say about that. Condescension is important, so you want to come at them with this kind of tone of being like that you understand the way reality works more than they do. That is going to help you as you go on into the next step. Alright, so once you've done step 3, which is the condescending tone, the purpose of that is really to morally, in your own mind, build yourself up, because you're going to want to be coming at them from a place of superiority. Because what you're going to do next, step 4, is to launch into verbal abuse. This is somewhat controversial, but it's totally justified, okay? What you want to do is forget that there's another human being at the other end of the computer screen who might be reading this. So some common things that you might want to say to a person if they've said something that offended you. Like common things are to call them a shitlord, tell them to drink bleach. Any form of like telling somebody to like commit suicide is a really good option, because that's like really viscerally hateful. Like it's not, you're not even telling them that you wish they were dead. You wish that they loathe themselves so much that they would commit suicide, right? So yeah, and then go through the, you know, so you're basically wishing pain on their loved ones as well. So, I mean, that's like some brutal shit. You want to name off like all the different forms of oppressiveness they have. So, because they've disagreed with you about a subject, this probably means that they're racist, sexist, transphobic, bigoted, homophobic, ableist, classist, whatever. You just start randomly throwing shit out there. Racist is probably the worst, because most of the time you're going to be speaking to other white people, so one of the worst things you can call a white person is racist. I mean, that just like immediately like ruffles feathers really badly, because even though most white people like have racist beliefs and like attitudes, none of them like want to be racist. They want to believe they aren't racist. I mean, so you say that shit, you are really going to mess with them. If they're a person of color, you can totally ignore the fact that they're a person of color too, because like if they disagree with you, it's probably because they're like either some kind of Uncle Tom or like, you know, suck up to white people. Like that's the only reason why a person of color would not totally agree with you about a subject. It couldn't be their own experience or like worldview or like, you know, perspective. Like you want to treat people of color like, you know, not like individuals, but like a homogenous group, especially women of color. They all have the same beliefs. They're all like Suey Park, only more radical than her, because she did some stuff. I don't remember what she did. You know, Suey Park before she got all problematic. That's what you want to think of them as. So yeah, if say a person of color doesn't fit up to that stereotype that you've built in your head, just throw that shit out there too. It will stick. Some people will believe it. So yeah, that's step 4. All right, now we're at the end. So now that this list of things has been gone through, number 1 was the interpreting something without actually thinking it through, like react before you think something through. Number 2 was not to breathe, because breathing calms you down and like kind of centers you. You don't want that. And also it helps you like listing off all your problems that you're having, like physically. 3rd step was to be condescending. 4th step is to launch into verbal abuse. Now you've reached the end points. You've called this person out. You've let them know what a despicable human being they are. All that's left to do is to unfriend and block. Now, you couldn't unfriend and block somebody without following these steps. That is cowardly, okay? Every single time you have somebody like on your friends lists or like in your scope of view that doesn't live up to your expectations of what they should be, it's important to make sure that the parting is not amicable or quiet. Don't go quietly, okay? If somebody has said something that offended you, like, the best thing you can do is to follow these steps, ending with verbally abusing them, and then basically you just want to like block them or just unfriend them and block them. Unfriending and blocking is better though, because it's like you have that one moment of I don't like you before you're like never shall you interact with me again. So yeah, those are the steps to a successful call out, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all now understand the steps, and you understand that this is really important. You know, like arguing nonstop with people online who pretty much agree with you about everything anyway is a good use of your time. Anyway, have a good day, y'all. Bye.